Here we go. Another road trip. I know we told you guys that we were going to take a break, and we are taking a break. And before you guys start telling us about how much you miss Channing and his off-the-wall stuff, before we start talking about how we missed the Mack truck, like, I miss them both, but, you know, Channing is in Portland doing whatever Portland people do.
Hug trees.
Yeah. Allie is, you know, she's all over the place. She's going on vacation. She's going on tours. So we decided to keep it going, and we have two special guests. I don't know if we should call them guests. I don't even know the terms. We don't need to get
friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
I like that.
And the reason why you guys are truly, truly friends of the show is because you guys helped start the whole podcast. So, to my right, Chris McGee.
Mm-hmm.
Chris McGee, voice of the AVP, everybody.
Nobody calls me Chris.
I was like, I forgot that's your name.
I'm gonna get to his actual name before.
Call me the White Channing.
The White Channing.
Shout out to my peeps in Hermosa Beach. Shout out to the 216.
Oh, jeez. He is the anchor and host of the Lakers pre and post game.
You were also lost all the Cavs fans.
You just lost all the Cavs fans. Yeah, you just lost all the Cavs fans.
No, they have LA fans.
Yeah. So, and to my left, the lovely Alex Curry. We're changing one Al for another Al, as you mentioned. The host and sideline reporter for Fox Sports West, covering the Angels baseball and LA Kings. We're going to get to the Angels baseball. But what's going on, guys?
Oh, you forgot. Ninja.
Oh, my God, I forgot. She's also the co-host of Team Ninja Warrior. Love that. Yeah, don't let me forget.
I feel like such a weirdo for doing that. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Did I just do that? I can't
believe
I just did that.
It was on the paper. We know what we're doing.
I'm also in your fantasy football
We're going to
league.
get to that. I was going to say
you're going to get to everything.
We're going to get into everything. Like, do we have to just go resumes?
I just remember when Kroenke was on your podcast, and you mentioned everyone in the league except me. It was awesome.
Oh.
Well, I was saving you for this.
Yeah, that's true.
I was saving you for this. Yeah. So what the dozens of listeners out there don't know is that last summer, we started doing a podcast. It was called the Detox Podcast. I was actually a guest on the podcast.
Who never left.
I just came and I was like, this podcast thing is kind of fun. And so it's what gave me the idea for road tripping. We would get together, talk sports, talk whatever. Matt Leinart, USC Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, it was the four of us.
We all hung out. So,
by the way, road tripping, very proud of you. It was an awesome year for you guys with Allie and Channing.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Man, I have to give credit to everyone else. Channing and his off-the-wall stuff that I miss and love.
Allie the glue.
Allie is definitely the glue. Our quarterback.
She's your QB.
She's definitely the QB. That's. But
you got to have someone with some journalistic integrity, like her.
Yeah. So I don't know how
bring everyone back
you guys
together.
in.
Just bring them back.
And I don't understand how this is going to work because no one here has integrity. That's what's number one.
It's true.
It's like I think, Chris, that you actually, and I'm going to stop calling you Chris because everyone knows him as Geeter. In the South Bay. We are all South Bay residents.
Geeter 3 on the Twitter. Hit me up, Pete. Shout out to my people. Sorry.
Don't,
you don't want me to be Channing?
We can't keep doing the Channing
shout
out.
Sorry. So
part of it is fun. It is fun. And the kid started a drinking game.
By the way, I heard that on the last one.
And he just kept doing it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So people would drink every time he'd give a shout out?
People would drink every time he would give a shout out, which was a lot. People were getting. I think people were getting.
Channing has a lot of value because he just doesn't care what he says. He's got enough money. He doesn't care what he's not
like somebody was talking about that me and Channing were both going to retire to clear cap space.
What?
And it was like Channing actually reposted it.
Yeah.
Channing reposted it was like, not $7 million. Why am I retiring at 33? Like, but who's getting this information?
Yeah, Cavs fans would be devastated. They need people like you in that.
I'm going to be really honest. I don't think they would be upset about our performance on the court. I think they would be upset about road tripping.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, for all you Cavs fans, coming from a Laker guy, we have had a guy named Cap Space on our team the last few years, and it's very overrated.
Cap Space
starts for the Lakers. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we are in the same fantasy football league. Luke Walton's in our fantasy football league. Josh Kroenke,
who was great on your show,
who was great on the show. We're going to have him on again at some point in time.
Did he bring some of his own wine? What was it called? You guys kept...
the Screaming Eagle.
Screaming Eagle.
Yeah, no, he didn't bring that. But Channing thought Whispering Angel, which we are drinking today,
which my wife loves.
Your wife loves.
Yes.
I think everyone loves Whispering Angel. I don't get it.
Every female and Kroenke.
Loves
whispering it.
Yeah, Braun and Channing really.
Is it rosé?
It is.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear Braun and Channing were rosé type guys.
Everyone's a rosé person. It's a summer drink.
It is a summer drink.
It became super trendy like 2 years ago. And now everyone drinks rosé.
And I also feel like it's just kind of like a relaxing drink. Like, what are you doing? I'm just having like a rosé.
Drink.
I'm kind of a beer snob myself.
Oh,
so wine snobs understand that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm a craft beer guy. It happened like a year ago, and
that's the shit that Portland people do. Like that's the exactly
that's
you are
very true.
You are Channing right now. Like I said,
Perfect.
Channing's up in Portland doing whatever it is that Portland people do, and it's craft beers. That's all they do. They have so many craft beers up in Portland.
Yeah,
we were just there. We were just on vacation in
choose?
Sun River, and it was there's so many craft beers.
How do you know?
Yeah.
I have a guy
time.
named Mike that lives out in the Inland Empire. He's craft beer king. He's a big Laker fan. We become friends. He sends me boxes of them.
Do they have like sommeliers for? Is that how you say it? I may be saying it right. Sommelier.
The people
who know wine really well. Do they have that for beer?
Do they have
that
for
thing?
I don't think though. I think beer
Man, you
is
lost
still.
me at hello.
Yeah, beer is still. I think it's still.
Well, it's the alcohol level's big too. It's like there's 7.5, 5.5, all the way up to 9, 10. So
like
alcohol
the is
really
it the Duvels and the
there's hoppy,
yeah. Those things have a high alcohol content. But listen,
let's not talk about drugs and alcohol yet.
Because this is the kind of random stuff. This is the random stuff that we talk about. Laker basketball. How you guys doing?
Why are you smiling at me? Why are you doing that, dog?
You guys have a lot of cap space. You guys but I talked to Luke. And I was like, yo, who's your 12 o'clock call? And he told me a name, and I looked a little confused. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "We're only signing guys, to
1-year deals, right?
1-year deals.
They're looking at George Hill.
Yeah, did they get George Hill?
Well, they met with him today, so hopefully by the time this drops, I think he'd be. George.
Yeah. Great.
Former teammate.
Amazing dude.
Great guy in the locker room too.
And look at JJ Redick, $23 million. You give me your 1-year deal.
By the way,
I'll take
do you
that.
remember when for Laker fans? Cleveland got peeps will remember this too in the 216 when Kobe was getting 24, 25 a year those last 2 years. People thought it was like, oh my God, you've ruined the. I mean, now JJ's getting as much as Kobe did. So yes. I think it was okay.
Yes. Oh, I stood by this. Like me and Michael Jordan's era. Like he retired in '98. Yep. I started playing basketball in 2001. Michael Jordan's the greatest player, to ever play the game, 6-0 in the finals. I've made more money than Michael Jordan.
That's crazy.
I've made more, and it's not even really close at this point in time.
By the way, every year when our fantasy football season starts up, someone will send out a link that has like the top 100 players of all time in terms of salary, and Richard is ahead of Michael Jordan. It's always great to see it. It never gets old.
I have a feeling with these new contracts, I'm going
You're
to be dropping very fast.
Sure.
You're going to drop.
I'm going to drop very, very fast.
Yeah, this year's like a whole new level for basketball contracts.
But honestly, to go back to hoops, because right now free agency is like so much fun on Twitter and Woj and all these guys and Cham, but the Lakers do need to be smart. Because opportunity to maybe get a Paul George, and I don't know if Paul George is going to want to come after you're in OKC. Who knows? But I mean, that's got to be a guy that the Lakers target, even a Boogie Cousins, whomever. But like, if you get these contracts, Rich, like they got into with Deng and Mozgov, you can kill yourself.
Well, no, yeah, and that was huge for them to move. But what I don't understand, which I really don't get, is how on earth are you going to just keep trying to keep cap space like that? Like that's something with the Lakers. Like I understand this has been the same story for the last 8 years of like, well, we got to keep it open for a max player. We're gonna get a max player.
When's your year?
When is your year?
Well,
because you're not trying to get anybody this year. I know that there's guys like Gordon Hayward that has interest.
But you have to remember one thing.
You don't want
this is a new regime, right? So Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss are gone. Yeah. They had their plan. That plan did not work because it never landed a max guy. Now you have Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson with Luke Walton as your coach.
Yeah.
So they have a plan, and that plan includes we have to have some room so we can go after a max player, and that's what you have to do.
How much is Ball going to help you?
Lonzo Ball?
Yeah.
I mean, Rich. I remember Rich. I think Kyrie and Channing and Allie talked about it on the podcast a ways back. I mean, the kid is listen. Every 19-year-old has problems when you get to the NBA. Either you can't shoot the mid-range, or you're not quick enough, or you're not great at the pick and roll, or defensively you suffer. But one thing that I know he has is he has the ability to make those around him better. He's a pass-first guy. Okay. He's got unbelievable vision. Rich will back me on that. So does he have a long way to go? Of course. They all do at 19. Yeah. I mean, there's no LeBrons coming into the league, right? I mean, it's just, KD, LeBron, these guys are able to make immediate impact. But I think Lonzo's going to help this team, and he's going to make them all better. I mean, that's why I think you couldn't pass up on him if you were LA.
Well, one of the things that the Lakers were lacking, and they have been,
Star.
Well, a star is one,
yeah.
but they've also been lacking a guy that makes other players better.
100%.
Like
everyone was the same, right, Rich? I mean,
score
when you're doing
this.
scouting. I mean, Clarkson, Russell, Swaggy, Lou, all those guards are, they're all kind of
and they're all pretty good at what they
players,
do.
Yeah.
All good at what they do, all solid, but they didn't complement each other very, very well.
Do you follow Dre? Your boy Draymond on Snap?
I don't follow Draymond.
Was that a little? Okay.
I don't give a shit what Draymond's doing.
Because
I like
he did a little Nick Young thing last night.
I saw him on Snap dancing around.
So everyone's thinking that was basically him saying.
Honestly, I just get nervous opening his snaps. That's all. So
I know because you think.
What's he gonna do?
Flying Kronk might be coming at you.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, does he send you personal snaps?
You don't remember last summer?
Last summer he had
a little
whoopsie.
He had a whoopsie, a picture that got out.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not aware of this.
No.
This
Should I see it for the first time? You gonna show me?
What is it?
She's way too wrapped up in
what is
baseball,
it with the
dude.
owls? With the owls and not understanding what's going on in pop culture.
I am.
Yeah, we did a whole episode. We did a whole episode on Allie. On Allie and shit she hasn't seen.
But didn't we give her a list of movies?
Yeah, we gave her. There's a list of movies.
Vacation.
She's been crushing them. She said in the last 2 weeks. Allie's going to come out here, guys. So just to get it out there. Allie's going to come out here. Channing's going to come out here. Everyone's going to come out here. We're going to do an LA road trip.
Maybe Alex and Allie just don't know much about dick pics, like Draymond Green. I mean, am I allowed to say that? Is that
You're allowed to say whatever you want. That's immutable.
Yeah, I'm way out of the game. I'm so out of the game.
Yeah, it was a tough summer because he had all of that stuff that happened,
and he had a little brush up maybe at a cafe.
I got into a fight. I wouldn't even call it a fight. I don't want to disrespect.
It was an argument.
Because most of the time those things are so overblown. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get nervous opening his snaps, so I.
But you understand, dude. You got
That's
goofs coming up to you, chanting.
Oh,
Warriors.
I got into it last night with some clown.
But here's the thing: you'll get two Barneys.
Yeah.
Two complete goofs that come up and chant Warriors in Rich's face,
Barney,
and then they want a picture with him.
Yeah. But was it like this 3 years ago? Did it pick up? Because in the South Bay, you can usually walk around and people don't bother you. They don't know who you are.
Yeah, but not when you're at Shellbacks drinking.
No.
You know what I mean? That's totally different than him going to Bocado's getting a sandwich.
Yeah, it's always depending on what team I've been on. When I was in San Antonio and I was living in California, everyone in California hates the San Antonio Spurs, right? When I was playing in Jersey, and then there was the Nick component.
Sure.
And Detroit was really good. Boston was really good. So it just depends on the environment and the city that you're in. Obviously, I live here in California, and because the Lakers have been such shit for the last however many years.
Easy, bud.
It's the truth. 5 years.
So you know.
The worst 5 years in your history.
Well aware, right?
Yeah,
we started the new network.
The worst single season
in
a history.
Years.
So it's 5 shit years.
Guess the first face people see for the last 5 shit years? Mine.
Yeah, the first and last one they see because you do pre and post.
Oh, God,
right?
you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the last thing that they remember when they see an awful, awful Laker game is Geeter. So
way to go, Geeter.
And it coincides with the Warriors going to the finals 3 straight times, winning 2 championships. So it's like the team from Northern California, it has been the dominant team over the past.
California team.
They became the California team.
The new Lakers.
You would never see Warrior jerseys
up
and down.
It's the biggest bandwagon fans. I mean, listen, I have friends that are NorCal guys that love them forever. And they would roll GSW sweats around back in the day. So I appreciate those guys. But it's like Clipper fans around here. There were no Clipper fans. Dude, I knew 2 guys. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
One guy named TC and one guy named Jumpin' Joe. Those are the only guys that ever liked the Clippers. And they got laughed out
I know
of
Sal Masakela. X Games host.
That doesn't count.
He was that's like the one I knew.
Yeah.
The one I knew.
I mean, is he from SoCal, Sal?
San Diego.
Really? So, well, the Clippers were
there. The Clippers were in San Diego.
That's the whole thing. Like, Cavs fans, they're true to their team. I've been there. I mean, the Indians, the Browns, the Cavs, they roll with them. They die with them. They live it. Warriors fans are like, this is so awesome. I'm so on board. The Splash Brothers. I mean, where were they? Where were they when they were, by the way, not in the playoffs for 15 to 17 years?
Yeah, they weren't there.
So the peeps that backed them forever, I'm happy for them. They have a phenomenal team. I've told my friends, enjoy this ride. It's one of the great rides in history. When it ends, it ends.
Yeah, and you're in that. You're like, let me tell you.
It'll get there.
It's deep.
But the fake ones, man, that are chanting Warriors at you, those guys aren't fans.
So what happened?
These guys don't play
Explain the
sports.
story of what happened.
No, so I walk into Shellback, which is our bar. This is our bar.
It's a dive on the beach.
It's a dive on the beach in Manhattan Beach, but it's where all the locals go.
Those guys were guests.
Yeah, they were guests.
Yeah.
And it's a crappy bar. It's a crappy awesome
it's like a
bar.
hallway.
It is. It's real
There's
small.
not a lot of space.
Anyway,
It's
so
actually a great way to
I
describe
walk
it.
in.
With an ocean view.
Yeah.
I walk in and all of a sudden these 3 guys are kind of like looking to each other, and they had 2 girls with them. They're kind of looking to themselves and like,
you can feel
warriors, and it's just like, okay, guys, it's funny.
Yeah, we lost.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm 1-1. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So, so I just kind of standing by the bar getting a drink, and they're kind of like whispering things and saying things, trying to get reactions, trying to be cool in front of their girls. And so, finally, I think they realized that, like, I wasn't going to go to the other end of the bar. Like, our table where we were sitting was right behind them. So I just kind of stood there, was, talking to the bartender, saying what's up to the guys. And after a while, I think they started to feel awkward because they're like, man, we were kind of talking shit, and now he's still standing right here. So they try to make amends, and they try to turn and be
Let's get a photo.
No, they just try and turn and be like, hey, what's going on, man? And I just gave them a blank look, like I was looking in the back of their brain. And I was just like, and I said no words to him. So then he kind of got confused, and then one of his
embarrassed.
Yeah, then one of his friends.
He thought you were going to be playful.
Yeah, then one of his friends, and one of his friends goes, hey, bear down. And now bear down is what University of Arizona Wildcats. Whenever you see them, say bear down. But don't tell me bear down. That should have been the first thing you said before you started chanting Warriors. Yeah, right?
Fun guy.
So don't start doing that. So I just keep looking through both of them, and then I hear one of them turn and be like, God, Richard Jefferson's an asshole. And they were like, wait a second, I walk into this bar and and then that's when I just unleashed on them. I was like, I'm an asshole. And then I just kept,
they got rich.
I went full mode. Oh, you think it's effing funny?
By the way,
you think it's funny? You think
that Rich doesn't come out a lot?
No, he doesn't come out.
And I am so upset.
You know what it was?
I'm actually really sad I missed that as well.
It was the tequila margaritas over at Poncho's at the karaoke night. And
is that your alcohol that makes you?
Yeah,
crazy?
it makes me aggro.
Everyone's got that thing
Everyone's
that
got
might
it.
just send them off. The other way.
Yeah.
So I went the other way, and they kind of like, they started creeping in like really, really small, to the point where, guys started coming around from the back of the bar. I was like, Richard, do you want us to get them out of there? I was like, no, they're fine. They need to hear this. They need to hear this. Oh, you think it's fucking funny? Like, you can be a Warriors fan. I'm cool. Like, you can tell me, hey, I'm a Warriors fan, but you want to count in and start chanting? I'm like, you weren't sitting there after it. I was like, this is my life. I was like, you weren't sitting there when, guys are crying, grown men are out there doing, like, look, be a fan, be cool, but when you start being disrespectful, being an asshole, people can get pissed off. I was like, you want a reaction? Here's a fucking reaction. And they were just like, no,
it's so good.
No, all of a sudden, you don't become a basketball player. You become a 6'7", 235-pound black man that's yelling down at somebody. And they just start like, no, man, that's not, no, we were just joking, man. We don't want no problem.
You should have started quizzing them. No. Who was your MVP in '76? Who's run TMC? Who's your all-time leader? They don't know any of that stuff.
No, man, and that was the thing, man. Like, and it was like, for me, like, it's kind of like, it turns on really fast and it goes very fast. Because people are like, Richard, yours? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. They wanted a reaction, so I wanted to give them a reaction.
Here's the deal. I'm glad he did it. And here's why, Alex. Because every once in a while,
you have to.
Them little bitches got to know that you cannot play games like that. Like, 9 out of 10 times, RJ's going to laugh with you. He's going to help you back, and they're going to get away with it. But there are those times where you poke the – like, listen, why poke LeBron when you're up 3-1 last year? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you poke the bear.
You're like, thank you for poking the bear.
Sometimes you poke the bear.
Yeah.
And the bear's going to bite back.
Yeah. Well, it's like online bullies. It's like you're constantly getting heckled. You take it as much as you can, and then there's always going to be that one moment where you're like, I'm done. I'm snapping. This is it.
So, to your point about the online bullies, I wasn't – again, I keep saying this, but I was not on social media. So I didn't have a Twitter, didn't have an Instagram. The only Twitter, Instagram that I even look at is road tripping. So those are the only things I know of.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while you see like a kind of an asshole comment, and then you click on it, it's like, well, who is this individual?
Yeah.
And it's like they have no followers.
No photos.
And you're like, oh, this.
Trolls.
I was like,
it's
people really just have a troll account.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think of something smart that I want to say that's kind of dickish. Let me go into my troll account, post it, and see if I can get a reaction. That's mind-blowing.
RJ, do you know Twan at all? Antoine Jameson. Cavs fans will know him.
Yeah.
So, great guy, works with us at the Laker station, flies out, such a good dude. And Alex, you'll understand this because you and I are on Twitter.
Yeah.
Have to be for our jobs. We don't have to be, but we are.
You do.
You're trying to build following.
Yeah.
So, Laker fans always pissed, they lose, whatever. So a guy was coming at me for something, and I was reading it to Antoine during commercial, and I'll never forget, he looked at me, he's like, man, Gator, why are you reading that? You're too good for that. And I was like, Twan, I know, but like, you don't he's not even on Twitter. I'm like, you don't have to, but like, he's like, you don't need that fool. Like, you don't need him. Like, he's like, stay off it for like a couple of days. And he's right. Like, I don't need to interact.
Do you know what's weird, though?
But
it
like,
sticks.
It does stick.
Like, it sticks. And I'm like, why am I thinking about this? Why am I letting this person get to me? I had someone tell me I looked pregnant once in like a skirt that I was wearing. And I was like,
I know.
Shit, did I put on weight? Like, am I fat? And it was like in my head for 2 weeks and I couldn't let it go.
I think I'm one of the guys who doesn't get into it that much, and it still will rile. It still will get
it's
me.
just like, it's mean.
Just once in a while, like you said, you'll look and you're like, who's this punk ass?
Well,
and you'll click on the guy's got an egg as a head.
Yeah.
He's got 3 followers. One's his mom, the other's his dad, and the other guy's a made-up person.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And what's crazy is that even for me, it's like no one can ever reach me. Right? There's like Snap, you don't open up all the messages. Twitter, there is no @RichardJefferson.
Oh, I did. That's how I saw my first dick pic.
Yeah,
on Snapchat.
On Snapchat?
Congratulations on your first dick pic.
I screamed out loud. I made it public, so I opened it to like interact with fans, and it was like, he was getting creative.
Really?
He had his like legs down, and it was
by the way, Alex is
from underneath.
Yeah, from behind, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
We used to call those ball tricks.
Yes,
he was doing a little.
Oh my gosh,
a ball trick.
Ball trick. You do like satin gum, all kinds of ball tricks. Like balls.
No,
was I alone in that?
I've never.
Sorry,
no,
guys. Sorry. That's for another podcast.
Who knows ball tricks?
Oh, my fault. Sorry, that's for another podcast.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sorry, is this on? Sorry,
are we
live?
No.
Mike Honcho, that's his other name.
Allie's going to be like, RJ, sweet podcast, but who's the guy talking about ball tricks?
Yeah, no. So okay. So you got a dick pic.
I got a dick pic from a random fan.
And it wasn't from Draymond.
No.
It wasn't direct.
Oh,
Draymond, you know we're kidding.
Do you have a houseboy that can get us another drink?
What?
Do you have another? Do you have a houseboy? He was here earlier.
Who's
that?
Mike.
Eric.
Rafa, Mike. You could ask him very
Rafa,
nicely.
By the way, I'm a big fan of Rafa.
Rafa's great. Rafa's great. Could you grab? Yeah, could you grab a drink? Would you do that?
Those little beers right over there.
Mike, what's your last name? Mike Sutherland, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is our guy. He's
Producer
our Rafa.
Mike.
Producer Mike. That's what we call him. So Producer Mike, I just want to give a shout out, as Channing would say, for bringing the equipment into my bar, hanging out. What are you going to make him?
Yeah, perfect.
Coors Light's fine. He's a beer snob, but he'll drink Coors Light.
See, he's like, I heard you had Sculpin upstairs.
Had what?
He was sneaking upstairs to try to get your Sculpin. That's why he went upstairs.
I was trying to go get a Sculpin upstairs because I know I put it upstairs.
Is that where you were going? You were saying I had a beer.
No, we got beer right here. He's like, no, I remember. There's Sculpins upstairs.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even let me go
Not
up
the man cave down here, but upstairs.
No, we're good.
I'm good, thanks. RJ's double fisting over here, so.
Well, no, that beer's done. So
yeah, back to Twitter. It is evil.
It is.
Especially with what's going on in our country right now. I mean, it's like if you look.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I truly don't have a presence. But the crazy thing is, like you said, it sticks with you.
Yeah.
Somebody can, like, you could put something funny, you could do something it could be something successful, and it can be 800 positive messages, and it's the one
that
or two,
and
it makes no sense.
You know how many times you go back to that person, they're like, "Hey man, thanks for the reply." They kiss your ass and want to be buddies.
Yeah, and I would talk to people. So I'm not in a safe space when I'm on there because I like to talk shit back too.
Me too. I'm the same guy.
My sisters do.
Really?
Like my sisters and friends will like send me screenshots. They're like, "Did you see what this person said?" I'm like, "I can't."
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I've told a guy, I apologize that like you got picked last for kickball like when you were growing up and you're angry about it.
You know that's what it is.
100%. I get it, dude. You weren't athletic. You're bummed.
Yeah.
Like guys picked on you and now you hate the world. Everyone sucks. Nobody's good. You want them cut. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, it was funny. We had a guy that was I think Rafa pointed it out to me he was talking trash on our Twitter, and it said something like, we were talking about things that Allie needs to see, and somebody was like, some clown, I don't know his name, he goes, Allie needs to see somebody on her podcast with more than one championship, right? Like, because it's like me and Channing, and I was like, wait. And so I logged in and I replied and I was like, you mean like Tim Duncan? You mean like LeBron?
By the way.
You mean like Bill Walton? You dumbass. Like,
yeah, you dumbass. What do you think?
It's like you dumb. Like, you guys like, I was like, any more dumb? Yeah, I was like, any more dumbass statements? And then he just, he wanted to kind of get into it or blah, blah.
By the way, TD was a huge.
Oh, man.
He doesn't do shit.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't even
How'd you get him?
He doesn't even like
What'd
me.
You say? How'd
honestly,
you reel him in?
We tried to get Tim.
Bait?
We tried to get Tim at Staples when he came to do a little goodbye to Kobe.
I told him that my financial advisor stole more money than his, and so we had this like unique bond.
By the way,
oh my gosh,
I'm just joking, Tim. I think my guy did take more.
No, I think his guy took more.
I don't know. It's close.
Was yours $7 million?
Yeah, he just got.
What happened?
Yeah, he just got FBI indicted. FBI boys, no big deal.
By the way, this happened like 7 years ago, but but people have been hearing about it.
They just it just got unsealed. I was literally doing recorded calls with the FBI, baiting him, basically not even baiting him, getting him to tell the truth. It's like, dude, I never signed any documents. I never did this, and he didn't know it was being recorded, so he's just spilling his guts.
Yeah.
And I can't obviously comment on it more than what I'm going to right now. But it was like, yeah, it's so unfortunate. And one of the things that I talk to people about, like, it makes no sense to me how, like, people talk about, like, armed robbery. You can walk in to a 7-Eleven with, like, your finger in your jacket and say, give me all the money, and somebody take $12.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to jail for 12 years.
Whoa. Yeah.
But if someone takes $10 million and can ruin multiple lives, they will go to jail. Like Tim Duncan's guy, I think, got 4 years.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? He's still
and because I was like, it's robbery, it's theft.
It was like, oh, but it's an aggressive, it's an aggravated robbery. It's with a deadly weapon.
How did you find out?
Can I ask you on a personal level, because and I've known you a long time.
Yeah,
you've always kept a pretty level head about this, and I was wondering. I mean, I've talked to E about this. We were talking about it earlier. Like, do you want to
No, you know what it is.
Don't you want to kill the guy? Like, how do you grasp it?
There's a sickening feeling that comes across because at 21 years old, you have an individual that tells you, "Hey, just focus on basketball." Right, and you just do this, and I'll take care of this, and then you learn to trust this person. He becomes everything to you, like and for me, the biggest thing is like, you have to forgive. You have to forgive and forget, and you have to move on. Like, and it's hard, but like, that's the thing that I think I'm most proud of in this situation is my ability to just say,
it's unbelievable.
It's hey, look, man, what's done is done. I was glad that I caught it 7-8 years ago, right?
How'd you catch it?
I caught it because it was during the NBA lockout, and at that point in time, I was like, look, I'm old enough now where I can start paying my own bills. I can start doing this.
Paying your bills.
Well,
everything went through him.
He was supposed. So he was supposed to. My checks were going into an account, and he had forged signatures so he could get access to that account.
Yeah.
And then he was supposed to send money to one guy, but he kept pushing off, like, my financial advisor. He would push them off. So, we're Richard. And they're like, well, Richard seems like he's spending a lot of money. Yes, I'm talking to him and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to do this and this is the stuff. And so it was like I had no idea these conversations were going on.
Yeah.
And so, again, I can't get into too much detail about it, but more of, look.
Will your guy go to jail?
Look, he just got arraigned just a couple of days ago. But this is one of the things that athletes always get very embarrassed because as competitors, as individuals, that we want to win. We don't like it when someone steals from us, all this other stuff, I think. And there's tons of athletes. But
like, did Dirk go through something?
Yeah, but Clinton Portis just had a thing where he was talking. But people don't understand. It's like, look, the guy that lives across the street from me is an investment banker.
Yeah.
Like, he's got $100 million in the bank. If someone steals $10 million from him, it's not going to make the news.
Yeah.
Right? Our stuff is going to make the news. So that's something that you just have to feel comfortable with. And my biggest thing, and I remember Tim talked about it because I just read a little bit of his article, is like, look, I don't want this man to go out on the street and be able to do this to somebody else. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be fine. Like, somebody's like, oh, man, you lost it. I was like, yes, but I'm still living in a beach house in Hermosa Beach. Like, I am fine. My parents will be fine. My kids will be fine. This is it. More than anything, it's about stopping this individual from doing anything else to someone else.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets, but when you start seeing it, when you start seeing stuff like, he put money in his kids' names, like when you start seeing that stuff, it's like
to the level that he goes.
Well, it's like, to this thing, it's like, when this was going on, I didn't have kids. I didn't have any kids, right? Yeah. So now it's like you look at it and you're like, wait a second. This guy is literally taking money out of my kids' pockets, like money that would go to my kids, and putting it literally directly in his kids' names. And you're just like.
And by the way, you know what's amazing? You don't get that money back.
I was just going to ask, do you get it back?
I don't think you do. Or do you?
I'll tell you two parts of it that are really fucked, right? You'll like it. One,
this is fucked up.
Because you do pay a lot of taxes. We do pay a lot of taxes. So everybody that sees, hey, JJ Redick is signed $23 million. Well, it's really
half of that.
It's about half of that, right? And again, that's not a complaint that you're going to see half of that. But let's not focus on the main number. Yeah. So you are able to go back and refile some of like those years as losses. They can't really say how much he took, right? This is what they can prove is that number, so they're going to go aggressively after that number. But the other part that makes it, a little creepy is that, I found it because there was an outstanding thing from a bank. There was a line of credit that was still outstanding. And I had never, how about this? This is how crazy it goes. I had never been inside of this bank.
No.
I have never.
You're all the same, my bank?
I had never met anyone from this bank. And so these people continued to take his word for it and his signatures and just allow my money to be moved for years. For years, right? Never met anyone inside the bank. So even every year when it needs to be renewed. And so, yes, there's tons of people out there that lost their homes, that have issues with banks and the bailouts. It happens to everyone. So what happened was I found it because there was like $500,000. Once I stopped giving him access to my money, I was like, everything's coming this way and I'm going to go this route. Then he couldn't continue his Ponzi scheme. Just like any Ponzi scheme starts to crumble, there was a $500,000 loan that was still there. So eventually the bank comes after me. And what they do is they say that, okay, well, there's $500,000 and I'm fighting. And I'm like, dude, this is fraud. But because the FBI case took 5 years, we couldn't use any of their information. So I lost a case against the bank. So the bank, I had to pay the bank $500,000 off something that he had stole. And on top of it, because I lost the case, I had to pay the lawyer fees. So it ended up being like $800K.
Oh my
God!
Do
you feel like just standing up in the middle of the room going, "What kind of bullshit is this?"
Oh yes, no. So
why is no one listening to me?
So because the FBI and you can't use that information in a case that hasn't been opened yet. So I'm like 2 years ago, I'm sitting here going against the bank. I'm paying all this money in lawyer fees. I'm paying this. I'm paying that. I'm like, dude, I did not take this loan out. It's fraudulent, but basically it's my word versus his. So the way they ruled against me and they were like, no, you owe to pay this and you owe the bank's legal fees. So it was basically him and the bank versus me. He's saying that he was allowed. The bank was saying that these signatures, and I'm saying no. So I lose the case, right? And so that $800K, like the $500,000 in a
what did he
account,
use that for? The loan, by the way.
Bad things because he has no more money left. So between that and then the lawyer fees, I have to pay $800K, right? $800,000 to them in a judgment. Then 2 years later, it comes out, the FBI is like, yes, this guy's accused of fraud. And you're like, where were you? Where were you guys when I was going? So hopefully we can go and use this in like a retrial. So we can try and get some of this stuff, corrected. But that's just part of it.
That's crazy.
So.
You know what? I'm going to say one more thing on that story you just told us. I'm no longer going to give you shit for not having red zone or hand towels. Like, I get it now, dude. That was fucked up, man.
You
I
don't
feel
have
bad.
hand towels?
I have hand towels. Well, no, it's
I don't know. They don't have everything here yet.
There's just some things. We're gonna finish some things around this house. No, man.
The red zone thing cracks me.
Yeah, how do you not have red zone?
Because I'm not here.
I
leave like the week after football started.
We've done a podcast watching football.
But it's still the free red zone. It's like the free red zone. Red zone channel is free for like a week. No, man. Look, just to close that thing.
Put a cherry on top of this shit Sunday.
Look, you can have bad things happen to me, and what I typically try and do is, in the way I was raised, is I try and count my blessings. I count it. We found this at a time when I still had 7, 8 more years. My longevity is long. I wasn't that crazy of a spender before. Yeah. So I didn't have to change. I wasn't a crazy spender in general. So I didn't have to change any habits. I wasn't doing, I didn't have any kids.
You recovered.
I didn't have any kids, so I didn't have checks of.
So you went completely broke?
No, God, no, it wasn't that bad. No,
Alex,
it was
your mouth.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, Alex. It wasn't that bad. Let's just say,
child, please.
Let's just say 25% of what should have been there was there when it was caught 9 years ago.
Okay.
So, by
the way, cheers. To the
cheers.
And by the way, I've always
made
been
it
so
out the other
impressed.
side.
Yeah. So,
and by the way, you know what?
What?
You're an NBA champion.
I'm an NBA champion. So
that's crazy.
Suck on that.
Yeah, that's all. That's all that matters. So, no, man. Part of the thing is I don't ever want people to not worry like they really care about me, but just like to show pity. It's like, look, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me at the end of the day I'd have X amount of dollars, I'd be living on the beach. My parents' house would be paid for. No one would ever have a care in their world in my family.
Just watch your tongue when you chant Warriors at 1 in the morning after you guys had a lot of tequila. Then you deserve it.
You might get an earful.
That's it.
Yeah. So, Alex.
Yeah.
What
RJ.
up? How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Road tripping.
Summer road tripping.
Summer road tripping. You coined the name. I'll have
yeah.
to give it to you. But I want to get a bunch of guys on here. One of the things that we've kind of all talked about as a group offline is we talked about getting to some different teams and talking to different players, different sports, because I think the platform of the podcast is best when it's used to show people things that they don't normally get to see.
Yeah.
And
like you said, no one tells our stories better than us.
No, yep. That's Allie. She came up with that, and it's the
Allie.
truth, because who else can hear the story? You could people were sending me the article about the guys like taking money from me and this and that and about yes, I actually told one reporter, he tried to get a comment from me, and I was like, I can't comment, but I'll sit down with you if you don't write it. If I'll sit down with you and tell you the whole story. And they're like, well, we still have to write something because it's news. And it's like, well, you're such an idiot, because I'm telling you, I will give you the one-on-one and tell you everything.
Yeah.
I won't sit down with anybody else. I'll tell you when it's all said and done. I'll tell you everything.
But that's what's cool about road tripping. Like I mentioned, you guys getting Tim Duncan. I mean, no one has gotten Tim Duncan since he's retired. And then when Braun comes on, I've listened to Braun a couple times on here, but that last one, you, Allie, and Channing did him, phenomenal. I mean, you don't get LeBron in that atmosphere where he's just chilling, telling you a story, because guys who are reporting want to spin it and get it their way, so they're not going to let you tell your story.
And they're going to ask.
He's not going to open up the same way either. He feels comfortable.
Yeah, and they're going to ask the questions that they want. But you were telling us about
you have a
baseball player.
You have a fan on the Angels. So we do this thing called Curry's Carpool, where I basically pick up the players and give them a ride.
It's like carpool
to the
karaoke.
Stadium. Everyone thinks it's that, because when it's on in the bars, you can't hear the sound, and everyone's like, "What are you guys singing?" I'm like, "Oh man, I wish."
Yeah.
Can't get the music rights, but that would be amazing.
By the way, give me a few.
By the way, that's going to
be
be quite a bill.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we were doing the ride along, and I asked Keenan Middleton, who's a rookie reliever on the Angels, who was going to win the NBA Finals, because it was at the start, and he's said Warriors in 5.
Thanks.
And I was like, it's kind of tough. Like, not going to lie, I share the last name with Curry, Steph Curry. So, like, I'm kind of a fan.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it a bandwagon if you have the same last
name?
No,
it's not.
It's not a bandwagon to think
as long as you're not buying the jersey. As long as you're not buying the jersey and tweeting.
We're talking about different kind. There's a different kind of fan.
You're not chanting Warriors in bars to Cavs
like
players.
my whole family for our family reunion got the Keep Calm and Curry on thing with the California and the star right there.
Yeah,
like,
by the way,
it's a family thing.
It's fun to pick a team and ride with them too in the finals.
Yeah, 100%.
But I was like, it's tough because I have a good friend on the Cavs, RJ, and I want to see him win again. And Keenan was like, oh my God, I love road tripping. I listen to his podcast. It's my favorite podcast. I was like, what? No way. I was like, I'm going to tell him that. So I told RJ. RJ tweets at him. He comes up to me in the dugout like, I love you, Alex. I love you. I was like, what happened? I was like, because you never texted me back. I just texted you his info,
I was like, give me
and
his
I
info.
never heard anything. I was like, oh, maybe he'll
road
do it
tripping
eventually.
tweeted him back?
Yeah,
saying we got to have
Did
you
Allie
on
do
the
that, or
podcast.
did you? Because I don't know. You're not the brains behind that.
It's funny because I see tweets and people think sometimes it's Allie, sometimes it's me.
Yeah.
There are multiple people that have access to our Instagram and Twitter.
You don't put RJ or any kind of
no. Well, because sometimes I can just look. Sometimes I can look and it's funny. Like I'm learning about Twitter. So like when you open it on, you click on your mentions. Like if there's new stuff there, that's when I know somebody else was on. Like looking at it. So I don't really know. But so I tweeted at him.
Yeah, no, he's super excited. So we decided we're actually going to take summer road tripping down to the Big A, and we're going to do a podcast down there and get as many Angels on the shows as we can. We already have Keenan, Cameron Mabin, Blake Parker, who is hilarious.
But
he lives in a trailer.
Unless we're getting Trout.
He'll come.
No,
okay.
but listen.
If we bring RJ into the clubhouse and he walks in and we introduce him that way, and he's like, "Hey, man, just come over."
Listen, I get what you're saying. She's tight with all. Tight with all.
Look, I want to start with the fan.
I want to put pressure.
I want to start with Keenan. Keenan, you're the fan. You're first. And I will tell you this, very similar to our team. When everybody hears how much fun you're having, it's like, what do you do? It's like, well, we sit and drink wine. I know we won't probably be able to drink wine in that moment. I'll be drinking wine. I don't know what they'll be doing. But it's like, what do you do? Well, we just kind of talk about whatever.
Can we get Gooby on to tell old George Brett stories?
Oh my gosh, you will love Mark Gubiza. He is the happiest,
so he played for the Royals in the 80s.
Okay.
Pitched. in the Angels, and he's played for a lot of teams, but great pitcher.
His
but
stories are
he's the
amazing.
Color analyst for the Angels, one of the greatest dudes ever.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah,
because we've talked
awesome stories.
We've talked about
Amazing
road tripping
stories.
is not a basketball podcast. It's not just a sports podcast. I think this summer, like me, Allie, and Channing, Allie, and Rafa especially had talked about what are we going to do with road tripping.
By the way, Channing didn't.
I just like to include him. I like to include him.
It's really nice of you guys.
But it's like, well, what are we going to do this summer? What are we going to do this summer? There's been some talks about possibly we have a potential to go out and watch the Mayweather-McGregor fight and record some podcasts out there. Yeah, that sounded awesome. But it might interfere with our fantasy football, but we'll get back to that.
Why don't you do the draft out there?
Well, we typically end up in Vegas. We typically end up in Vegas.
We had a 3-year run in a row into Vegas.
I know.
Funny, we never went to Vegas for the first 6 years of the league, 7 years. Then we went 3 years in a row, and now we've done LA.
We did LA last year.
We did LA last year. It was Rams opened in LA, and Kroenke. We went to the game.
We did it at Kronk's house. Yeah. It's a terrible house.
It's a horrible house in the hills.
In the hills, awful. But no, but that's the thing. We just want to spread it out. So I would love to get in there and crack jokes with these guys.
Yeah.
Crack jokes with these guys. I would love to take the headphones off and let these guys talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be. I'm just saying, like, I don't need to be in the middle of it. I don't need to be answering questions.
It's different though. Like, this is a very new concept for athletes to open up and have these conversations like this in this atmosphere. So I think you're actually starting this amazing movement and this new trend among athletes.
You'll see more and more. I mean, JJ Redick does a podcast.
Yeah, JJ.
It's just like you just got to set the trend, set the tone.
Now he gets $23 million.
Well, JJ was the first, again, that I know of that did a podcast. That was his name on a podcast. Ours is very, very, and it's very good. JJ, I used to see him just around town all the time because he lives right down the street. But I would see him and I would hear about his podcast, and he's so good
at the first pitch because he came to throw out the first pitch at Angel Stadium and told me about his podcast.
I would love.
Would you throw out the first pitch?
I'd love
My
to.
God, I cannot wait to be there.
Yes, it's happening. It's happening.
Okay,
I'm going to make this happen.
Okay, well, Angels.
But here's the point. You need to be a part of it because that's what makes the athletes comfortable.
Yeah.
No, I will, but I'm talking about if Alex wants to sit down with the 2 or 3 of them, of just the Angels, and let them crack jokes and talk about they can talk, like, I can try and relate.
It takes a
just
certain
your little
person.
baby's all grown up.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
I can try and relate to baseball, and we can crack jokes. But at the same point in time, there are people that are like, I like basketball, but I'm a really big fan of baseball. I'm a really big fan of football. Well, there's something inside that only baseball players can talk about. There's stuff that only they can relate to.
Everyday grind.
The everyday grind of what they know. Like, I can't, even as a professional athlete of 17 years, and I will be starting my 17th season next year. I am not retiring. I can't relate to some of the stuff that they do and know. So why not put the 3 of them and you are around them all the time?
But you know
Alex?
what matters?
What?
And I remember when you did your first one, you wanted my opinion.
Yeah.
First thing I said to you was awesome chemistry between you, Allie, and Channing, because I think that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And what's unique about you and Channing is it's so funny because that last one, you're like, all right, listen, I don't hate Channing. You know, people are like, you're so mean. But that's the beauty of their friendship. I've known them. I've only known Channing with Rich and Luke and those guys. That's how they treat him all the time. And but that's what makes Channing so beautiful. He loves it. Yeah. He's being himself. Nobody's being more Channing than Channing.
He's our younger brother. He's always been our younger brother.
So
he's
you need to find, like, it's great to have guys that know how to be around each other. And I mean, that's what makes it special.
Everything. You have to find the right person, the right player, and the right 2 players, 3 players.
But what's funny, and again, the whole road tripping thing, I know the listeners out there will know, is we would sit at dinner and have these conversations. And I know baseball players do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. They'll sit there and talk about who's got the best left-hand slider, who's got the best right hand.
Give me your best first baseman of all time.
First base. That's what we do about small forwards.
Name your all-time outfield.
Yeah,
I got to ask this, though. I was listening to your last road trip and LeBron was saying the all-time greats. He did not mention Kobe. Why?
But all-time greats as in like what? His like what?
He was just saying
he mentioned like
Jordan.
He mentioned Jordan, Magic, Kareem.
Yeah, Duncan.
Well,
Kobe was never brought up.
But I'm saying Kobe's retirement's not even cold yet. Like that dead body is still warm.
But still.
You know? Well, but
right?
there was other I'm saying, like,
is it because it didn't end great?
No.
See, I think there's two ways to look at it because I think it's really curious that you asked. I mean, I think it's
yeah.
It's
I
so
was waiting for it. I was like, oh, where's
I heard
Kobe?
it,
And I was
but
like,
here's
wait,
there's two
there's
things.
No Kobe.
Is it more of just you're naming a bunch of guys and you leave someone out like in a thank you speech,
Yeah.
which happens, or
Accidentally.
is there a thought behind it where
That's
you say,
what I wanna know.
well,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
could have gone either way.
It could have.
Yeah.
when you're in a casual conversation, as we will all learn as we continue this during the summer, is that you're just talking because you don't think people are going to hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in an interview, with a reporter, you're like, okay, who do I need to? Okay, I need to stay on guard. Okay, well, Kobe.
Forgot.
I'm not saying forgot's not the right word. I'm just saying like you can just say things knowing it's like this. You're like, well, who's the greatest? It's like, well,
but he
Magic, Michael, blah blah. You know the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
But you can just say it in a casual way without kidding. So he has a ton of respect. I will say this: he has a ton of respect for Kobe. I remember.
For sure.
I remember
last year he showed it.
Yeah, 100. Like he's got a ton of respect for him. They play on the Olympic team together
twice.
LeBron, more than anything that people don't fully know, is such a respectful competitor.
Yeah.
So like he respects Kobe a shit ton. He even said, like, I was like, yo, so, Kobe's coming in. I was like, you going to try and go give him 50? He's like, I should. That's a shit he used to do to me when I was a young boy. Right? So it's like, Kobe, LeBron would come in at 19 and Kobe's in his prime at 24 or whatever, 25, 26, whatever he was. And like Kobe's like trying to let him know, like, yes, no, I'm the best perimeter guard, which he was.
Yeah.
He 100% was. He was the best perimeter guy, best two guard, won the MVP. So he was just torturing LeBron. And I'm not saying LeBron didn't ball, didn't do this, but it was like Kobe was trying to go at him. And he was like, I should go at him the way he used to go at me.
Tough.
Yeah.
Kind of like not big brother, but like that kind of, come on.
Hey, that's how you got his respect though.
Yeah.
And so.
It's interesting what you said about guys and just their comfort level. So I did a sit-down interview with Lonzo Ball, which will not air until the first night of Summer League.
Okay.
And, he's kind of a shy kid.
Really?
Doesn't say a lot, really quick answers. But when I asked him his top 5 all-time starting lineup, he all of a sudden's like, oh, we talk about it all the time, and he rattles it up. So it's just interesting how you said when guys are sitting around, baseball players, basketball players, the conversations you have, if you can get them thinking along those terms, then you have something, right? Like he popped out, because every hoops player has their all-time 5.
Everyone.
Who was his 5?
He had Magic at the 1, Jordan at the 2, he had LeBron, and then he went small ball. And I'm trying to remember his last.
Well, small ball's popular right now. It's trending.
Yeah, he went small. He didn't. Oh, he had. I'm sorry. He had KD then Shaq.
Okay.
So he had one big. So he was playing basically 4 out, 1 in.
Well, no,
Shaq was his big. He didn't have Kobe. He had MJ.
That's what we want to do. I met with some of the guys from Uninterrupted, and we talked about what can we do with road tripping. We feel like this is such a great platform.
It is.
And athletes should
I had my
use it.
producer ask me about it, wanting to do it with the Kings.
Yeah, it's like, yo, we want to give people this platform. Let them use it, because I truly think that the fans don't. And like, you've been there. Like you were there when the Kings won 2 Stanley Cups.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like you were there.
Mayhem. I was on the ice. I was on the bus with them during the parades. I was at the celebrations, the parties. I mean, it's
North End.
Yeah, North
At
End.
4 a.m.
North Bar right up from RJ's house for all you
4 a.m.
people in
They
Cleveland.
shut
Come
it
join
down.
us. Hey, all you Cleveland fans, you ever want to come from the 216, hang out at RJ's house? We got plenty of room. And there's a little bar called North End you guys would love.
Yeah. So
something funny about that, though, I walked in because we got there at like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. They shut the whole thing down.
They shut it down.
And I'm walking in, and you had to it was only family and friends.
Lines.
I love Megan Carter, Jeff Carter's wife. She got me in with her. It wasn't even like I could actually go.
Yeah,
I
it
had
was
to
tough
go,
to get. I remember people.
I had to go with a wife. And I was walking in. I was like, oh my God, you guys, the cops are in here. And Ron, who runs it, was like, oh, no. There are bouncers. It's chill. They were taking photos with the cup. Everyone was
Dude,
that's
awesome.
That's what's so awesome about the Kings. Those guys won it and said, let's go to where we hang.
Yeah.
That's our local
Immediately.
bar.
So they're the Kings local. The Kings local bar, and has been for years, is
where they hang.
Where they hang and they go grab beers is. Well, I think everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Critters.
Okay. It's called Critters.
Critters. It's called North End, but everyone calls it Critters.
It's called North End. It's literally 500 steps from my house.
It's no secret.
It's no secret. So we're not giving it out. But these guys, it's a safe place for them. You can go in there. They can drink. They can have fun. They can chill. But because it is the Kings bar, during the playoffs, during the Stanley Cup, I'm talking about, it is packed packed in there. It is like if you say anything that's not associated with Kings, you are not in a good spot in that place. So it's really really cool.
What's the best Cavs bar during playoff time?
The best Cavs
bar. Is it a club? Is it a bar? Like
in
what
a
is
street? Did they
honestly, it's just a Cavs town, man. I can't point out one bar. There's some ones that are close to the arena. There's some stuff, but it's just like that's the Kings bar. Like there's no because that's where they drink and hang out. Yeah. That's where they will throw parties. That's where they will just there's so many guys that just kind of live in this area and they'll stop in there and just have a beer. It's kind of like their Cheers.
Yeah.
So I won't say that there's one in Cleveland, but
do you guys have a bar?
Do we have a bar?
Yeah.
When we won, all of them.
Okay.
When we won the championship, we had all the bars. So
I have to say, anybody who just loved sports in general, whether you didn't want the Cavs to win or not, when you guys came back from 3-1 and 1, the way the city, that parade and just the whole couple of days, I mean,
which by the way,
it was unreal. It was really, it was awesome to see.
Have you shared the story of your parade story on Road Trippin'? Because you told it on the Detox when you ended up with the trophy.
With the trophy.
It's one of the best
and you were
stories of all time.
Yeah. No, I think I have. I actually did it in Dave McMenamin's book. I talked about
Dave McMenamin.
He was like, hey, could you not tell anybody else that story? So I kind of, until his book came out, I hadn't told the story. But yeah, basically there was a guy that had the trophy. They on the truck, it got lost, and so he had to take the trophy off because they had no security.
Like
he covered it in a sheet, and he was running because there was 1 million people out there. He's running trying to get back to the parade because it needed to be there.
Yeah.
So we come around a corner, and all of a sudden I see this guy run up, and he puts the trophy. He was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." And so after like raising it to the fans, and we're raising it to the fans, and they lose it every time, and me and Channing are alternating with the trophy. So I go,
so good, Channing.
Thank you. So I go with him. I look at him. I was like, "Hey, where are you taking this next?" He was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I assumed that he was just going from car to car.
Yeah.
He was going because we're only like 20 feet apart.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, man, we got disconnected, and all of a sudden, all these people, there's no security, and the trophy's just sitting out there on the back of a truck. So I had to like unscrew it, get it off, and your car was the first one that I saw." And I was like, "Wait,
so
our car?" So even to this day, the only pictures that you will see are.
Do you think anybody was like, God, I wonder why LeBron doesn't have
Yeah, the only pictures that you
RJ
will see,
has it.
the only pictures that you will see are pictures of me and Channing with the trophy at the parade.
You know what's funny
So
about that,
beautiful.
Alex, is so whenever Rich comes back from whether it's All-Star break or summer, always hit each other up, ride down, hop in the jacuzzi up top. We got the view, crack a couple of beers, and we tell some stories. I want to hear about the season, especially after the championship.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I'm like, dude, that picture with you and the millions of people with the Larry O'Brien, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen, dude. I'm like, it was on our fantasy football chain. I'm like, dude, we got to get that framed. He's like, you're never going to believe this story.
No,
you told me that story. So I feel bad for Dave McMenamin because I told that story to everybody.
I told that story to everybody, but no, it was awesome. So, hey, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I just want to thank you guys for helping to keep Road Tripping moving.
Yes.
Because we feel like there's so much, and I know Allie and Channing appreciate you guys stepping in. We're going to have more people on.
Hey, we appreciate you taking what you learned at Detox to a new level.
Oh, look at this.
That's at North End.
Look at you with the picture of the Stanley Cup. I'm going to need you to send this to me. We're definitely going to post this.
There's a picture of her at Six Man, too. Did you want that?
Oh, no, we can't have the picture of you.
Oh, sorry.
Picture. We're going to post that at some point.
Hey, by the way, we appreciate what you learned with us and the way
you guys it started with Detox and our crew. So
can't wait to meet Allie when she comes out.
She's awesome.
Yeah, Allie's amazing.
Yeah,
Channing, Channing, I don't know, man. We got to get Channing out here. I need all the fans out there to get on Channing. I've been trying to have him come out to LA so we can record for a week and just give you guys, because you guys have been so good.
And throw shout outs if you need it.
But again, for Alex and Geeter, I just want to say thank you guys. And we will see you guys.
I believe it's Geeter 3 on Twitter.
Geeter 3. Okay, let me get.
Let's see if we get a bump up.
Let's see if we get a
bump up in followers.
This is my first time hosting. So
is anybody still listening?
No, I don't know. Allie normally does this. So Geeter, what is your stuff?
It's Geeter 3. GEETER 3.
Yes.
That's Twitter and Instagram.
Are there any pictures or videos of you doing the worm on the sand?
Oh, all you gotta do is Google that, dog.
Oh, you can also
YouTube,
Google if you guys want to see something.
On the Price is Right.
Yeah, if Google Chris McGee, Price is Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the most beautiful.
It's amazing.
That was 1994. Me wearing jorts, winning a car on the Price is Right.
Alex, what's your
Oh my
information?
gosh. Well, I just found out today there's a fake account.
You have a fake.
I have a fake account.
Yes, you told us about this.
And they have more followers than me.
How do you have?
By the way, I saw that.
75% more followers than me.
How does that happen?
So do I
don't
stop following
know.
this person right now? Because I
wait. Okay.
So they put an I and made it capital so it looks like an L.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
I'm Alex_Curry, Curry.
Rich, we're gonna see if I get a bump. I'm gonna let you know next time we do this.
But yeah, everyone kept texting me today. They're like, "Hey, I thought I was following you. What's happening? Did you get a new account?" And I'm like, "No, what's going on?" And so I looked into it, and I'm like, "I don't have that many followers. Wait, that person doesn't have the blue check. Oh, that's fake.
there's a fake account.
There's a fake account
with more followers,
and everything's the same. The same photo, same cover shot, all my info, the same link.
I think we stuff. Hold on. What is
How-
it?
that is
what is it? How's it
amazing.
go, Alex?
You're following the wrong person, Geeter.
No, he brought it up today. He's like,
Dude.
"Hey, I thought I was following you." I'm like, "You're the third
Dude, this
person
ain't
to
it.
say that to me
That's
today."
so crazy.
Oh my
If
God,
there's
they
no
changed
blue
their
check.
name.
They did?
Yes.
What'd they change it to?
Don't give him credit. Don't give him credit.
Don't. Yeah.
No, but
Okay.
it's just funny. You guys.
But I'm
they changed it
Alex
to.
You guys-
at Alex
here's what they
_Curry.
changed it to.
Oh, so they just keep doing all the different angels.
Yeah.
They switch off between every different angel.
Oh,
He's
so
Albert now. He's Albert
Albert.
Pujols. He was Alex Curry for a bit.
100%.
And now they're
Because
Albert.
yesterday-
I'm assuming it's a he.
Oh no, there's some female trolls out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of female.
Well, it's funny
trolls.
because yesterday I was like in a text you going, "Bitch, you don't follow me on Twitter."
No, everyone did.
So tell us your actual Instagram and your actual Twitter.
Okay, both Instagram and Twitter at Alex_Curry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
ALEX_CURRY.
Okay, so Alex is going to get us down there. We're going to see if Jordan Clarkson. Is it Jordan Clarkson, right?
JC?
Yeah, he was out there running sprints out in the sand right in front of the house. So I'm gonna see.
Let's just grab him.
That's what I'm gonna do. Next time, we're gonna get some Lakers on here. We're gonna get some Angels on here.
By the way, if we can't get Luke, we're
gonna get Luke,
Luke's
but Luke's gonna happen. But we'll all sit down with the that might be a community thing when we get Luke on here. But
For sure.
because he can't do Bill Simmons' podcast and then not do ours. Yeah, like.
Oh, by the
are
way,
you
he's
kidding?
done tons.
He does a ton of stuff, and I'm like,
he does
dude,
all
like-
kinds
You
of
guys are
sneaky-
best friends.
Yeah,
You got to. You got to pull the best friend
we're
card.
slight acquaintances. We know the
He
guy.
goes,
So
Stephen A. Smith, Bill Simmons.
Big Rich, whatever you need, man. Big Rich.
Look
Go
good
talk
right
to Affy. She's up there.
Big Rich going to be barbecuing
Now make sure
soon.
to shout out your podcast, where to follow, all that jazz.
My podcast. If you're listening to this, you know what our podcast is. This is Road
Make sure
Tripping.
to
Make sure you
subscribe.
subscribe to us. Follow us on Instagram at Road Tripping. Follow us on Twitter at Road Tripping Pod.
Hey, we should get
Alex,
a photo on Instagram.
And
then.
we are going to put a photo on
Who?
Instagram. We are going to put a photo on Twitter. I don't know how to do all that stuff. Normally,
help
that's
you out.
Allie and
Stop
Rafa.
it.
I'll help
So
you out.
we love you guys. Look forward to some
By the
more
way,
stuff.
you don't know what to do without Allie.
I do.
I know.
It's like
no,
you can't
no,
tell
she
LeBron.
runs this. She
And fans,
runs
it was
this.
great to meet you. Thank you for listening to us.
Oh yeah,
for
no.
Geeter and I.
Yeah, no. Look, we're not done. We're not done.
I got a lot of love for the
We're going to
Cavs.
have you guys
We're
on
gonna
here.
do what RJ did on our podcast. We're gonna be guests that just never leave.
No, you're never leaving.
Great call.
You're never leaving.
Just- we're
And
not
the best
leaving.
thing that I like
Such a
about
great
you
call,
guys
Mario.
is that
Yeah.
you guys want to record as much as I do. So
Yeah.
we're going to do this. We're going to get some guests for you. We're going to get some cool guests. I asked Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero.
We're way more comfortable than you guys.
Yes, I asked him. I asked him a week ago to come on, and Gilbert. And I said, Gilbert, you can come on and say some outlandish shit. No one has heard you say anything in a while. So maybe
You gotta reel 'em in.
Yeah, I was like,
Reel 'em
Gil,
in.
come,
What do they
Gil,
wanna
come
hear?
on. So get on Gilbert and tell him that you fans tell him to come on the Road Tripping Pod and talk shit. So Red Solo Cup.
You